I see it in your hand.
Mark's got a T-shirt. Ulmer pulling team.
The
out of Meadow,
tradition
South Dakota.
continues.
Now, what happened with the weapon tonight? What happened?
We had an injection line come off.
You just got all that back together. Was it just something loose or something that got overlooked, or just?
I just got to get new ones.
Got to get some new ones. Okay. What was wrong with the weapon?
It had main bearing issues, so it's got a whole brand new motor in it.
Brand new motor. So, okay. All right. Well, it's good to see it back on the track, Mark. It's weird to look in the point standing and see it way down at the bottom like it is right now. So you got a T-shirt you want to give away.
Yeah, I would.
How you want to give that away?
Usually you just find somebody and point at them.
You want to do that? You just gonna want? Well, do that, and find a fan out there that wants a T-shirt. I mean, it's not a double X, is it? Oh,
Wow,
that happens to be my
fits
size.
a lot of people.
Just happens to be my size. I'd look good in an Ulmer pulling team.
Yes, you would. Here's the classic 40-10, 40-20 style. That bump on the top, that's how they fit the turbo in there.
Now this is your points leader right now. This tractor has been an absolute monster this year in this light limited pro stock class. Mark Wiggins out of Prairie City, Iowa, the Demon Deer.
Wow, usually if they bounce that bad, they don't get that much disc.
Hey everybody, welcome to another Tuesday night here, Outlawed Live with myself, Ron Stone. Sporting Spectacles tonight. Supposed to have Mark Wiggins on tonight, Light Limited Pro Stock Champion with his Demon Deer, John Deere. And of course, George Beyer is supposed to be here as well. We'll see if George can make it tonight. I know he's been busy the last couple of months, I think. But as we're waiting for Mr. Wiggins, chat about what happened last Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, actually. Went up to Milwaukee, flew into Milwaukee, went to Racine, Wisconsin, to hang out at the Case IH Experience Center there and the factory. Got to see the Magnum tractors being built. Super cool experience. Got to go up there with the winners of the Super Fan Experience contest from the Outlaws. The NTPA folks were there as well. Did a PowerPoint presentation there for some of the executives. and saw the tractors getting built literally from the transmission cases being machined all the way to gears being cut, which I had no idea they did that much at that plant, all the way to the final assembly and the tractors like driving off on their own power out the door. Looks like they build about 16 to 17 Case IH Magnum tractors there at the Racine plant every day, with an occasional New Holland tractor mixed in. More red than blue, but there were some blue ones there. But pretty cool deal. I think thanks Mike Idle for filling in last week. There I am at the Case IH Experience Center. I think Mike showed some of these. It was a little chilly up there last week. There's probably my favorite tractor there. I had that tractor when I was a kid, an Ertl tractor. So my dad bought one for me and one for my brother and said, don't take them out of the box and don't scratch them up. Well, how do you tell a little kid not to take a toy tractor out of the box? Of course, the stickers didn't stay on very long either. They don't like dirt, but pretty cool stuff in the showroom there. It was kind of like a little museum there in the Experience Center. So very cool. Big thanks to Case IH, huge sponsor of the Outlaws. Absolutely great people there as well. So great partnership we have with Case IH. So it looks like we got Mark Wiggins here. Mark, somebody changed my background here. Probably that darn Mike Idle playing around with the graphics here. No, big thanks to Mike for stepping in last week and doing the show. I know kind of put him on the spot. He'd never done it before, but super cool of him to do that, and I appreciate it. As soon as I find the right background here. So, Mark, we got Mark. Let's just go ahead and bring Mark on here. Mark?
Yes.
I'm shifting all this stuff here. Everything has changed on me here in the last week, so I got to try to figure it out.
Okay, it's probably never happened before.
How are you doing, Mark?
Good.
Good deal. What's your weather like up that way?
Warm and windy.
Warm and windy. Yeah, it's been a little windy here today as well. But thanks for coming on, Mark. Last week, Mike Idle was doing the show and was trying to get you on there, but we got a hold of Jason Wayman and he came on the show. But want to talk to you a little bit about your experience this year. The big points winner, the Demon Deer, was pretty tough to beat.
Well, yeah, we lucked out there. So
lucked out. Being a little bit humble there, Mark. I mean, you started out pretty tough right out of the gate. I think your first hook was Cherokee.
Yes.
I know last year you had a really good run. I think something came up in your life, your personal life, and kept you from going all of the hooks. But you made it to all of them this year, and that John Deere was the one to beat. I mean, Brady Gosler came after you, but you would not be denied that points title this year.
Well, it's a very competitive class, and you know, I really believe anyone could have won it. If you had a few bad hooks, and it didn't take too much for somebody to get around you. So,
right. Yeah, Goslers. I mean, they had a really great season. I mean, if you wouldn't have been there this year, they obviously would have been the points championships. I think it was kind of a two-way battle between you guys. But let's talk about your pulling career. How did you get started in pulling? You know, what year was it? How old were you? And how did you do it? How did you get involved?
Well, I started in Labor Day of 1970. Our local JCs of Prairie City wanted to have a tractor pull. So they spent a week with a sheep's foot packing down a track. And I entered the 110 garden tractor class and also the 12,000 out of the field class. And
What did you have to drive at that time?
at that time, I had the 4020.
Okay.
So I entered the 110 garden tractor and won that class, and sat there and watched pretty much the rest of the pull until the 12,000 pound class. And then I jumped in 4020 and I won that class too. And I was 11 years old.
11 years old.
Yeah.
And you were hooked from that point on.
Yeah. Yep.
So your professional pulling career, I mean, when you first got organized and you started pulling with an organization, say chasing points and getting serious and starting to really spend some money, when did that start?
Late 90s. I started with the Twin States organization, and pulled with them, pulled with ECI some, pulled with IMO, and I ran in the hot farm 9,500 and 10,000 hot farm classes at that time.
Okay. Yeah, IMO, they're not, are they around anymore? I don't think they're around anymore.
No.
But that Iowa, Missouri group there. Any other points titles to your credit? I mean, besides the Outlaws?
Well, if I go back to 1974 and 75, I won the point championship amongst our 6 local towns in that 12,000 pound class. And then I did win the Twin States point championship. I think that was 2006.
Okay.
In the 95 and 10,000.
Twin States, are they still around, or is that?
Yes, they're still going. They're struggling, but they're still going.
Okay. And that's, yeah, I thought I'd seen something about them. I knew IMO was done, but I couldn't remember on the Twin States. But any other organizations you pulled with?
After the Twin States, I went to ECI, and I was running the hot farm class there for a while, and then I moved up. Well, I actually I ran the hot farm class in 2017, 18, and 19, and won the points in 19. And then I moved up to the light limited pro class and won the point championship in 2020.
Okay.
And then I moved to Outlaws.
This was your 3rd season with the Outlaws, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Any aspirations of moving on to another class? Or are you happy where you're at?
I like that 4-1 class, but I think at my age I'll just stick where I'm at.
Just stick with a 3-inch Charger and
Yeah.
466. Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
You guys had a Ironman schedule this year. You won't have as many hooks this next year, but yeah, congratulations on that points championship. Are you coming to the banquet this week?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're pushing the 500 envelope here. We're up around almost the 500 people registered to come to the banquet this year. So
that'll be great.
It's going to be the biggest one ever. Had you been to the banquets in the past?
No. I wasn't able to attend in 21 and last year either. My wife had a stroke there in 2022, and so that required a lot more time at home. So
right. Yeah, I remember you telling me you didn't go into detail, and I didn't ask. Sometimes personal stuff, you just don't ask. So
yeah.
I thought it was something going on with your wife, and that pulled you off the schedule last year. But there are more important things than tractor pulling. So
yeah.
We've got. I'll be reading out these comments. I don't know if you can see them on your screen there. People from around the country. Sometimes we get people in different countries chiming in. Sturgeon photography, pulling videos, watching from Kentucky, the bluegrass state. Eric Claypool. You ever heard of that guy?
I have heard of him. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's he's a four-wheel. He's a door slammer.
Mm-hmm.
Mark. He always chimes. He's always telling me that I'm his hero. He doesn't set his standards very high. Marty Samuelson, the Marty Samuelson, watching from Nebraska. Dallas Todd watching from Scotts Bluff, Nebraska. Moose's tractor pulling videos. Ron, I private messaged you. Okay. Lori Bauer said she's busy working on, I'm sure she's talking about the banquet stuff, getting all the agenda, all the stuff set up. That's becoming quite the job, just getting the banquet ready to go. We have meetings about the banquet, Mark.
Well, I'm sure.
Getting it ready to go. So, yeah, it's going to be a big one. Mike Idle, he is my idol. Checking in from Bevier, Missouri. I think that's French. I'm not sure, but Mike was doing the show last week when I was up at the Case IH plant last week, Mark.
Okay.
Winners of the contest at the Experience Center. It was super cool. Got to see a tractor, basically to see how the tractors are built from start to finish. Ryan Boyson says, "Sup, buddy?" Fred Petch says, "Congratulations on your points championship."
Thank you.
Mark. Moose's tractor pulling videos watching from Vienna, Iowa. So, no, that was really cool. I was talking a little bit about it opening the show. They have a Case IH Experience Center, which we had those folks that won the contest we've been talking about all summer. And they got to go up there. We got to hang out with them. Did a little PowerPoint presentation about the Outlaws, and NTPA was there as well. Greg Randall. And they had a lot of old tractors in there, some old F-20s and like F-12 Farmall or F-30. They had the Spirit of 76 Agra King in there, and even some experimental one-off tractors that never made it into production. But it took us on a 2-hour tour through the plant itself. Started with basically the machines that machine the transmission cases. And they build their own transmissions there. They cut gears there. And after 2 hours, you make it to the other side of the plant where the tractors are coming off the assembly line and they're driving off. It was really cool. You know, they paint them there, everything. It was a really cool experience. I'm glad I got to go to that last week. But
yeah, I've went through the Deere plant and watched them manufacture tractors and combines. So that is quite an experience.
I was really surprised at how much they did in-house. Some of that, like the transmission work and such, and some of the gears and things I thought they would contract out, but no, they do all of it right there. But Kevin Davis says congratulations. Kevin Davis, promoter from Wayne, Nebraska.
Thank you.
Tim Dunclaw says congratulations. One of your competitors, one of your fellow Deere competitors.
Yeah. Thanks, Tim.
Dale Bartels says congratulations. Light Limited Pro, one of the classes that is the heart of the Outlaws. You got it. Ryan Pickard watching from Melbourne, north of Mark, 45 minutes. You know Ryan Pickard?
Yep, I know Ryan.
A lot of pullers watching tonight saying congratulations. Desiree Paulson says congratulations.
Thank you.
So what's up for 2024, Mark? You do anything different? You have the motor freshened up, new turbo. What? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, we are going to tear the motor down because we did not tear it down before this season, and so we thought we'd check it over and make sure everything's up where it needs to be. And I guess there's always a new turbo, so we'll have to wait and see what comes out. So,
okay. Your class, as far as competition, I mean, it always, for the most part, has the most competitors in that class. I mean, sometimes you're talking north of 20 at any given pull. So no shortage of competition in that class. So you got the bullseye on your back now, Mark. So
yeah.
Gonna be
Yeah.
coming after you.
Yeah. We'll have to see how this new schedule is, but I don't know if I'm going to be running for points this coming year.
Okay.
It's just a big sacrifice for everyone here at home to fill in for me and keep
Right.
the farm and feedlot running. And I got to thank my wife and my son Kevin for keeping the wheels going around here while I was gone, because I was gone a lot. So
How big of an operation do you have there?
we have 2,500 acres of row crop, and we run 1,000 head feedlot, and we run 100 cow-calf pairs. So,
Okay. Yeah, that'll keep you busy.
yeah.
That'll keep you busy. So, yeah, you probably didn't get much leisure time besides the tractor pulling. I mean,
Right.
maybe driving up and down the road a little bit was your leisure time this summer. But who do you see as in your pulling career? Who did you look up to? Who was Mark Wiggins? Who was your biggest idol in pulling?
Van Botkins.
Van Botkins.
Yeah.
What did he pull? That name is not
Cajun Queen.
the Cajun Queen. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that does ring a bell.
In my years of attending tractor pulls, it was pretty red around here for a long time. And my neighbor, he had a lot of red tractors, and they all ran really good. And he pulled in the driveway one day and he says, I just came from the international dealer in Des Moines, and he said there is a John Deere with 2 turbos on it in Bethany, Missouri today. And we're going to get in the car and we're going to go see it. So we all jumped in the car and went to Bethany, and this old boy, he chewed on cigars, and he sat there that whole day watching that tractor pull with that green tractor beating them red ones, and he was really chomping on that cigar. So so that was kind of my highlights, to know that a John Deere could win again. So
Yeah, I didn't recognize the person, but the tractor itself. Yeah, that rang a bell. Mike Idle says that that tractor is fully restored and on display at a Side and Stricker dealership in Mexico, Missouri. Right now. So
the 4020 is.
Yeah, that tractor was kind of innovative, if I remember right. It really kicked a lot of things off.
Yep.
For tractor pulling back in the day. So yeah, that's something else. Do you have anybody that helps you on the road, Mark? Is it always just a one-man operation when you go out pulling?
My boys used to go, and they actually pulled too, and it just got to be too much. They was wanting to farm, and so they quit. And so now it's just friends that I meet at the tractor pull. There's always someone willing to lend a hand. I'm good friends with Ron Fix. We've pulled together for years, and Wayne Longnecker. I've traveled with him thousands of miles to tractor pulls, and so they're always there to help me. And the Paddock family, they're really good friends, and they're helping me. And so
you traveled around with Longnecker a bit?
Yep. I met him in, I think, late 70s. Ron introduced me to him, and I was just getting out of high school and trying to farm, and wanted the tractor pull, but couldn't at that time because things just weren't working out. So we'd jump in the van with Wayne, and he'd haul us around to the tractor pulls, and we'd throw weights, and he used to pull 3 classes back then. And so we just have had a really good relationship. I've been all over the United States with him, and various tractor pulls. So
yeah, he's kind of a legend in the sport.
Yes, he is.
Longnecker is his name. I remember watching him when I was a kid, on ESPN and stuff, seeing him at the indoor pools and running the Allisons and the twin Allisons. Speak of the devil, there he is.
Thanks,
Just
Wayne.
congratulations, neighbor. Well earned, he says. So, can you see the comments on your screen there?
Yes.
Okay.
Can. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carol Whip, she said congratulations as well. But,
Thank you.
yeah, Wayne, I was surprised when Wayne went to the Twin Hemis there a few years back. He seemed like he never drove anything but aircraft engines, the V12s. And
Yeah, well, when I first met him, he had a single engine, I believe it was a Chevrolet on nitrous, and pulled the 5,000 pound class. He was a good competitor there. But then he stepped her up.
His I's dotted and his T's crossed when he hits the track. So, really nice guy too. Good neighbor to have there.
Yep.
Ron Fix, he was there for a couple seasons. He was like Mr. Automatic on that thing.
Yep.
3,200 class. It was hard to beat.
Yeah, he's a good competitor too.
Any other famous pulling neighbors you've got up there your way?
Well, I guess there was the Ernie Rops and those guys back in the day. I always watched them, and I guess that's really all I can think of.
So you've always been a John Deere guy.
Yeah. I did buy an M Farmall one time, but I had it a few years. But,
so, it'll be good to see you down at the banquet, Mark. Get to rub elbows with all the pullers down there, and it's a really good time. And that resort down there has got a little bit of everything in there. Got a couple of restaurants and an arcade, a bowling alley, and a couple of bars, and has a spa in there if you're going to go get a massage or get a pedicure. It's got a little bit of everything in there. So, it even has an indoor water park. So,
oh boy,
I haven't been up to that part of it, but there is an indoor water park there. But pretty cool. Usually, I think the weather's supposed to be pretty nice. Usually, it seems like every year it's just been really cold, so it's supposed to be relatively decent this weekend. But
I'm looking forward to going. So
awesome. Anybody you want to thank? I mean, that's helped you along the way? Any sponsors or anything like that, Mark?
Well, I gotta thank my mechanic Darren Heineck at Heineck Diesel. He's built me a really good motor. Weimer turbos, Prairie Performance fuel system, Mark Korth, K3 tires, does my tires.
Let's talk about your tires a little bit. Aren't you running an older tire on that tractor?
Yeah, I'm still running Firestones.
Okay. Are you the only one running a Firestone in that class right now?
There might have been a couple others, but most of them switched.
Yeah.
I don't know. 2022 kind of give me some time to think, and I watched all the Outlaw pulling TV that year while I was sitting at home, and I just kind of come up with some ideas that I wanted to try, and so I threw them out to tire guys and transmissions and motor ideas, and we kind of got everything all put together, and I guess it was successful. So
yeah, I've got some stats here somewhere if I could find them on your season stuff I was compiling for the banquet, actually, because when we call you up to get your trophy, your points check, I'm going to be talking about you. So as you're walking up. So I've got a little information here. I just wanted to dig into that. We'll break down your season here. Let's see. Shoot. Yeah. There was 26 total hooks for the season. Of those 26 hooks, you finished outside the top 5 only 3 times. You finished in the top 3 20 of 26 hooks, and you had 10 wins. So not too shabby. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Pretty good season for you. 26 hooks. That's a lot.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And I know we ran you a couple times. We ran you guys. We kind of zigzagged you around the Midwest, but we're going to try to stay away from that this year. Not do that. A lot of times when you book these pools, some of the promoters, we want that class because Mark Wiggins is in it, and he lives nearby. You know what I'm saying? Just as an example, it's just sometimes it's hard to get a promoter to drop a specific class, but this year I think we're gonna cut back on a few hooks here. We're trying to bring some other classes up and have a few more choices for promoters to choose from. Like a light limited super stock and a semi class, which worked out well this year. The 3.0 diesel pickups, the 2.6 diesel pickups. We like to get them involved a little more, but give the promoters a little more to choose from, so they're not beating you guys to death. Zigzagging across the Midwest all summer. But have you had fun this year, Mark?
I have. I had a lot of fun. It was pretty uneventful as far as having to wrench on the tractor. Didn't have any trouble traveling on the road, so it was fun.
Did you have any major mechanical issues at all this summer? Anything?
No.
Nothing at all.
No.
Just kept on running, huh? Kept on ticking. Okay, good deal. Good deal. Well, Mark, we won't keep you on here all night. I just wanted to bring you on and congratulate you on your win and give everybody a chance to congratulate you. And you're going to get some more of that this weekend too. So
okay,
get ready for that. Get used to it. So
all right.
You did a great job this summer. Congratulations on your points championship. You were the one to beat in the class, buddy. No doubt.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Mark. Thanks for coming on tonight, buddy.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Have a good night.
You too.
Mark Wiggins, the Demon Deer, points champion, light limited pro stock class with the Outlaws this year. He'll be at the Banquet this weekend. For those of you coming to the Banquet, wow, going to be a record attendance. At least it is for registrations. We're pushing 500 right now for the Banquet. It'll be the biggest banquet ever with the Outlaws. Mike Idle, are you coming to the Banquet this year? Mike Idle filled in for me last week. He announced a couple times this year. He announced that I know he announced with me at Wisner. I'm trying to think of where else he announced this summer. Mike, I ought to just send you a request to come on the show here with me. Might as well. Get back down here to comments. Pullers that are watching, Pullers families, chime in. Let us know if you're coming to the Banquet this weekend. Looking for Mike. Going to send Mike a request to come on. Here we go. Bodiat says he's coming to the Banquet. Good deal. Bodie was just out in California this past weekend with the MLM Motorsports. Quite a few Allisons out there running, along with some turbine tractors. The T58. Fred Petch, comment on that for me, if you would. The T58. That's the one that has the exhaust that exits back close to the driver. I guess the exhaust would exit back towards the output shaft on the turbine. So I'm curious to see what Fred's knowledge is on that particular turbine, the T58, which there was several of those out there. Dallas Todd, want to do a super fan next year? I'm not sure. Dallas, they may. I assume they will. Last year they did the contest where they sent winners to Louisville to the Farm Machinery Show, and this year it was a super fan experience. So we'll see. I'm not sure, 100% sure what they're going to do there on that. So yeah, there was a pull in Madeira, California. It was my first time going to California. Went out there. The Massetti family out there, great group, a great family, a lot of history in that family, a lot of historical vehicles for that part of the country that were there. Stuff I'd seen on TV and in magazines back in the early 80s was there pulling still. And their light modified class, they had a couple different colleges that were involved. Of course, Cal Poly has a tractor pulling program there at that college since like 1972. One of the Allison tractors there was campaigned by students at Cal Poly, and they had a twin engine mod that was campaigned by students. And then Modesto Junior College actually had a club that built a 4-wheel drive truck that they campaigned, and the students actually drove it. They'd meet on Tuesday nights, have meetings, and work on the truck. And they actually campaigned the truck, and a student would drive it at every pull. So really cool. Dale Bartel said he went to the Heartland Banquet, which was last week before. I'm getting my weeks all messed up here, but not going to the Outlawed Banquet. Yeah, the Heartland Banquet's probably a little bit closer, Dale. But you're going to miss a good time down there. They got a live band on Friday. T58 is, I know it was a GE. You get Patch and Barrett together, and they're a wealth of knowledge on the turbine power plants. Just curious about the T58. That's the first time I think I'd ever seen one of those in person, actually. One had twin T58s. No, actually, there were two with twin. Yeah. No, there was one with twins, one with a single. So pretty cool. I was just curious. I'd never seen them in action. They seem pretty strong. As far as the turbine goes, T53, T58, T55, T64. And then, of course, there's different series of each one of those. So it gets a little confusing. So I rely on my buddy Fred Petch and to keep me abreast of what's going on with those motors, what the intricacies are. So Mike, are you still watching right now, Mike Idle? If you're still watching. I know you were on a show last night. You were on Let's Go Pulling. But we had, of course, George Beyer lined up. He's not going to make it again. So we're going to keep working on George Beyer. We'll get him on here eventually. We may have to nail him down at the banquet and make him do the show down there from the banquet. Do Outlaws allow radial engines in either the light limited modified or the modified class? Good question. You know what? I really don't know without having the rule book, but here it is right here. So let's see. I can tell you right now, we're going back to school here for this question. Page 36 of the rule book is light modifieds. I know Bodie Ott's watching right now. He can probably tell you before Fred Petch says no. Light modified. Let's see. Maximum 650 cubic inches, 1 methanol, fuel injected Allison V12, limited to 8.8 to 1, supercharger overdrive ratio, 1 carbureted V12, limited 9.6 to 1 supercharger overdrive ratio, 1 carbureted gas Merlin or Packard style V12. Let's see, one ag or industrial style engine, 1 Lycoming T53, L13 with water injection at 6,200 pounds, twin Lycoming T53 L1 L11s without water injection. All turbines operated within military spec. Single T53 L1 L11 would be allowed to run at 7,000 pounds. That would be the power plant on, there's one twin turbine that runs during the season in a light modified class, pure pressure. He has 2 of those L11s. You know, if you were to have one L11, you would be permitted to run 1,000 pounds heavier, actually. But I don't see anything in the light modified that even mentions those motors at all, the radial engines. Could be a cubic inch thing. I don't even know what the cubic inch is on those radials. 1 Ford GAA engine. Yeah, so and Fred said no on the big mods, so the radials must not be permitted in the 7,400 modified class. So let's see. Yeah, Mike, I'd bring you on here, buddy, but I don't even know how to do it once I'm in here on the once I'm on the show. So we'll get you on here some other time. Probably going to keep it short tonight, and we're going on 45 minutes right now. We usually go an hour at least. Any questions you have right now, anybody might have concerning the banquet, I can try to answer it here in the next few minutes. Any questions about the upcoming season? We're working on the schedule. Of course, right now everything is tentative. You know, we have a lot of events that we know for sure. You know when those events are going to occur on what date, but it's still a tentative schedule. Still some moving parts. Just one other thing came up today. One event that had wanted to move their event to a different date. So this is the time to do it if it's possible. So. Any questions about the season? Any questions about the banquet coming up? I could tell you it's going to get. Am I going to sing at the banquet, Marty? I don't know. There's going to be a band there, so there will be some. Maybe they'll let me get up and do a song or two. A couple years ago, I think I did a song with the band, so maybe they will. Maybe I get up and sing a Prince song or something. Dale, that is the one that messaged me this afternoon. And well, they were already moving to a different date, and we were trying to accommodate it. But now I get a message that they're wanting to move to another date. So back on a Sunday. So see if we can make it happen. It does make it a little more difficult that it's on Labor Day weekend when they're wanting to move to that particular Sunday. So Thomas Newharth, what's up? What's going on with you tonight? Anybody watching right now, what pulls did you go to this summer? What was your favorite pull? Your favorite outlaw pull this summer? Let me know. Dale Bartels, you're probably going to say Madison. Madison, South Dakota. I'm sure. Mike Idle, what was your favorite pull this summer? whether you were watching it on TV or whether you were attending the pull. I know you like to attend the pulls and you announce the pulls, but you also go to pulls and sit in the stands. And I think you were in Unionville, if I remember right. Anybody getting bored with the fall already and ready to go pulling? I mean, how many people are watching, getting a healthy dose of Outlaw Pulling TV since the season's been over? Mike Idle said Wisner, Nebraska. Fred Petch says Weeping Water, Nebraska. Thomas Newhart says Rock Valley, Iowa. Thunder in the Valley. Fred, how's the twin turbine coming? Are we going to see it at Ravenna? Should be the first hook for that class. Curious if you're going to have the twins ready to go. Gil Bartel says West Point and Lee, Nebraska. Yeah, that crowd at Lee, Nebraska. That's one of those fun crowds. Very responsive, there to have a good time, and it always makes an announcer's job a little bit easier when you have a great crowd like that. Hopefully Ravenna. Now, Fred, that's twin T55s, right? I know, let's see, the Barrett tractor this year was running twin T55s, and the rule was that they would run at 85% RPM. And at Wisner, was it Wisner on Saturday, where they decided they weren't going to pull for points, they weren't going to pull for money, or they'd pull for last. They turned them up to 100% just to see how they would compete against the rest of the 7,400 mods. Fred says yes. Trevor Hartman says Wayne, Nebraska is his favorite pool. Wayne is, man, it's brand new grandstands they have. That place looked completely different. They took all those trees out and put those huge grandstands in, and they had them filled up for a Friday night pool there this year. They were considering going 2 nights for next year, and they decided to hold off on that. Where's the tapped out Pro Stock tractor? That tractor got sold. The engine got sold. The engine's in Rock Valley, Iowa. I can tell you that. But the tractor went east, I believe. That was, of course, is Tony Workman had the tapped out International. Thomas is talking about. Yeah, you'll probably see the motor pulling this next summer, but it won't be in the tapped out tractor. Mike Idle, Macon, Missouri had an awesome show this year too. Yes, they did. Bradley Sturgeon. Ron, you going to do any indoor pulls this winter besides Louisville? You're to come down to Murfreesboro, Tennessee to the Southern Invitation of Kentucky's Horse Park Pool. Both great events. Well, you know what? If I ain't busy and I need an announcer, tell them to give me a shout. I do all outlaw shows during the summer, but in the off season, I can kind of do my own thing. Still booking pulls with the Outlaws and things like that in the off season, working on schedules and promotion and such. Kevin Davis says 2 nights will happen maybe. Will happen maybe in 25, you mean? Yeah, will happen maybe in 25 is what he's saying. Moose tractor pulling videos. Does Barrett still pull the Wampus Cat 5.0? That is Jaeger. For some reason I can't, his first name eludes me right now, but Greg Jaeger has the Wampus Cat Pro Stock, and that tractor has gradually gotten better and better at each pull this year. And he actually took the very last 5.0 points hook at Spencer. He won it there at Spencer. So that tractor, Greg Jaeger, doing a great job getting that tractor back out in top form. Wes Severs had a great time at all the pulls. Well, that tractor there got a lot of hits on Facebook. Whoever posted that tractor with that 4.1 motor on it on a light modified, and it ran as good as it looked. So, Wes, we look forward to seeing you back out on the track back next summer. So any more questions out there? Any more comments? We'll wrap it up here in a couple of minutes. And I'll have to pick your brain at the banquet, Fred, on those T58s. Curious about those. Thomas Newhart Jr. Could ever join you guys for next summer. You'll send us a message, Thomas. Let us know what capacity you're thinking. You know, if you're over 18 and you don't mind a little work, you do have tech positions that could be open, and you never know. So send me a private message on Messenger, and I'll steer you to the right people who can help you with that. So Jason couldn't be on tonight because he had a 2.5-hour drive and said he had to stop and charge his Tesla up on the way back home. So I told him it was good to go for tonight. Jamie Yonke, excited for the banquet. You've missed everyone. Jamie had a great season this year, finished third in points, had, I think, 3 wins, Jamie, this past summer. Had a great season. And I don't know if you're looking forward to the banquet so much or the bowling tournament. They have a bowling alley inside the resort there, the Margaritaville Resort, where we have our banquet. And Jamie's heading up the bowling tournament at the bowling alley on Saturday. So very cool. Or Friday, sorry. So, all right, guys, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you, everyone that tuned in. Thank you, Mark Wiggins, for coming on. Mark Wiggins, congratulations on your 2023 points championship in the light limited pro stock class with the Outlaws. Jamie Yonke at 3 wins. Tournament will be awesome. I heard it's already full. You already have like the maximum number of teams. That's going to be cool. We may have to go in there and like live stream that or something and make it like big time bowling where the announcers are whispering in the background. And for those of you going, I don't know if any of you have watched Kingpin, the movie Kingpin with Randy Quaid, Randy Quaid and I can't think of the other guy's name offhand, but funny movie. But that'd be funny to see some people dressed and similar to how they did in that movie, but that'd be fun. Rusty Newbie, how did your mod class finish? 7,400-pound modifieds. Donald Nelson won that class on the last hook of the season. Nelson and the Twisted Whip went up against the Sweet Pain team. Craig Ulmer out of Larchwood, Iowa. They were very close in points going down to Lufkin. The 2-night pull, they actually flip-flopped. Where one was leading going into Lufkin, the other one was leading after Friday night at Lufkin, and then Nelson ended up edging him out with a win on Saturday night at Lufkin. So it was really cool to see it go down to the wire like that. Light modified class, it was Blake Ott on his 3rd championship. On his Allison tractor, it was his 2nd. He won it 3 years ago with the twin turbine, which they no longer have. Then the Allison tractor he won last year and this year. So that was the modified classes, how they ended up. Rusty Newbie, Kevin Davis, I hear you are buying my drinks. I have the Outlaw credit card. We'll rack it up, Kevin. It's all on the house, buddy. Bill Murray. Yeah, Bill Murray and can't think of the other guy. There's another guy in there. I always forget his name. Anyway, that was a funny movie. It'd be funny to have some references to that at the bowling tournament. The PBA Pro Bowling announcer's name is Rob Stone. So that's cool. That's interesting. So, yeah, we'll have to go in there and maybe live stream a little bit of the bowling tournament. That would be cool. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. Appreciate it. A big thanks to Case IH for their sponsorship and the Superfan experience and the tour last week. Big thanks to Mark Wiggins and the Demon Deer for coming on the show tonight. Congratulations on your points championship. So next stop, Osage Beach, Missouri, Margaritaville Resort for the Outlawed Banquet, folks. We'll see you on Tuesday night next week at 7 p.m. Central for another edition of Outlawed Live. Good night, y'all.
I see it in your hand.
Mark's got a T-shirt. Ulmer pulling team.
The
out of Meadow,
tradition
South Dakota.
continues.
Now, what happened with the weapon tonight? What happened?
We had an injection line come off.
You just got all that back together. Was it just something loose or something that got overlooked, or just
I just got to get new ones.
got to get some new ones? Okay. What was wrong with the weapon?
It had main bearing issues, so it's got a whole brand new motor in it.
Brand new motor. So, okay. All right. Well, it's good to see it back on the track, Mark. It's weird to look in the point standings and see it way down at the bottom like it is right now. So you got a T-shirt you want to give away. How you want to give that away?
Usually you just find somebody and point at them.
You want to do that? You're just going to want, well, do that, and find a fan out there that wants a T-shirt. I mean, it's not a double X, is it? Oh,
Wow,
that happens to
that
be my
fits
size.
a lot of people.
Just happens to be my size. I'd look good in an Ulmer pulling team.
Yes, you would. Here's the classic 40-10, 40-20 style. That bump on the top, that's how they fit the turbo in there.
Now this is your points leader right now. This tractor has been an absolute monster this year in this light limited pro stock class. Mark Wiggins out of Prairie City, Iowa, the Demon Deer.
Wow, usually if they bounce that bad, they don't get that much distance.